because you demanded to be able to listen to Walt Bonetti on your tablet while sitting on the toilet. It's the Walt Bonetti Podcast.
Welcome to episode number 2 of the Walt Bonetti Podcast. Hey, you can't fire me via email on my own podcast, right? Well, maybe you can. You can unsubscribe and you can send me a nasty note. But thankfully, those of you who did send me email and made comments about the podcast, you liked it. So that's a good thing. Just a quick reminder, the Walt Bonetti Podcast is brought to you by our great sponsors, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. 469-4999. 469-4999 is their telephone number. You can call ahead. They'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver it to your home or your office, no matter what you want. You want one pizza? Great. You want 10 pizzas? Even better. The more you get, the better it's going to be. And they also have incredible salad sandwiches, calzones, wraps, and incredible pasta. So make sure you check out the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard. 469-4999 is their telephone number. And our great friends over at Coppa Donut, 2321 West Esplanade in the Kenner Market Center. Their telephone number is 305-4858. 305-4858. They have incredible donuts, breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burritos, sliders, fruit smoothies, a lot of different things. They're more than just a donut shop. Coppa Donut, great donuts and more. 2321 West Esplanade in the Kenner Market Center, 305-4858. You can call ahead. They'll have your order ready for pickup as well. A little later in the podcast, we will give you an Orleans Parish update, our Friday dumbass of the day, more true crime stories, and an offensive restaurant name. Maybe. But first, we have a couple of quick hitters. And the latest edition of the Girl Scout cookie lineup is gluten-free. And it sounds incredible. Caramel chocolate chip cookies feature, quote, rich caramel chocolate chips and a hint of sea salt in a chewy gluten-free cookie. Doesn't that sound delicious? This is the second gluten-free cookie in the Girl Scout lineup, joining the Toffee-tastic cookie. I haven't had that one yet. Maybe this will be the year and I expand my horizons and live on the edge. Maybe that's what 2019 is all about. Taking chances, taking risks, living on the edge, eating a gluten-free cookie and liking it. In another note, obviously not gluten-free, Manny Randazzo's King Cakes opened yesterday. Early. Store hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 to 3 on Saturday. They are closed most Sundays except this Sunday, June 6th, which is King's Day, and the Sunday before, Mardi Gras, March 3rd. Now remember, it's just like Black Friday. You're going to have to get to Manny Randazzo's at about 4 in the morning if you want a king cake at 7 o'clock and if you want to get to work on time, because the lines form there. People love Manny Randazzo's king cakes. And there's a lot of great king cakes out there. Ian McNulty in The Advocate had an article today all about king cakes. And if you haven't read it, make sure you check it out, because there's a lot of things going on with king cakes now. In addition to king cakes, you can also find king cake flavored coffee, vodka, and more, because it's cinnamon and vanilla, the primary flavors of a king cake, of a traditional king cake anyway. And traditional king cake is the king cake that sells the most. But other bakeries, and there are a lot of bakeries out there that are taking chances and going beyond traditional. Now, me personally, I like filled king cakes. I like them filled with just about anything, whether it's cream cheese or whether it's strawberry or cherry or my personal favorite, pecan praline. And if it's pecan praline and cream cheese, that's even better. But they have all kind of king cakes now. You can get savory king cakes filled with crawfish, boudin, spinach over at Bywater Bakery. You can get king cakes now filled with virtually anything, whether it's lemon or apple or, as I said, strawberry, cream cheese, any kind of flavor. And like I said, savory king cakes as well. Last year, there was a lot of hype surrounding the Dong Fong Bakery over in New Orleans East. People were standing in line and getting their king cake and then scalping them, selling the king cakes for 3 or 4 times what they paid for them and making money. It reminded me of what happened last Christmas in Kenner with all of the free sweet potato pies that were floating around. People were getting cases of free sweet potato pies that were donated as surplus pies. And they were going online and they were selling these pies. Not for a lot of money, $2 or $3 a piece, and saying, well, you could buy the same pie at Walmart for $7, but I'll sell it to you for $3. And they were making money off it. And people were actually shaming them on social media for taking these free pies, these donated pies, and trying to make money. But the Dong Phuong Bakery in New Orleans East, they have a new king cake this year. It's a coconut king cake where they took the coconut and they replaced the cinnamon with coconut. It's supposed to be incredible. I had a tiny sliver of king cake last year from the Dong Phuong Bakery, and it was really good. I'm not a huge fan of the traditional king cake, though. Like I said, pecan praline. Man, if you bring me a filled pecan praline king cake or a pecan praline cream cheese filled king cake, man, that's it. The bad thing is I can only eat a tiny piece, and then I have to freeze it. I put it in slices, just like I do with my cup of donuts. I buy a dozen cup of donuts, and I can't eat them all. I can't eat them all in a week. So I put them in Ziploc baggies, put them in the freezer, take them out. That's what I did with king cake. I ate a piece of king cake the other day from last year that was frozen in the freezer. So you can do the same thing. But Kaluta's Bakery in Harahan, they're known for their king cakes as well. One of the things they're doing this year that is different is they're going to do a king cake flavor of the week for the week of January 7th through the 12th, next week. The flavor is Oreo cream cheese. Man, Oreo cream cheese king cake. I can only imagine. The Saints are off this weekend because it is wild card weekend, and we got the bye because we did so well during the season. There are 4 NFL games this weekend. On Saturday, Indianapolis is at Houston. That's going to be on ESPN. I'm going to make my picks here now just because it's on a podcast and it's on tape. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going for the home teams in every game. So Indianapolis at Houston, I'm going to take the Houston Texans. Later on Saturday, the Seattle Seahawks, play at the Dallas Cowboys over on Fox, and I'm going to take the Cowboys. That's a tough pick, though, because I think Seattle could pull an upset. On Sunday, I really want to root for the San Diego Chargers. I really want to root for Phillip Rivers. They're playing at Baltimore, but I think Baltimore is on a roll. That game is on CBS, and I am reluctantly picking Baltimore. The second game Sunday is on NBC, and it's a game that I struggled with. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at the Chicago Bears, but I am going to take the Bears. So those are my picks: Houston, Dallas, Baltimore, and Chicago. All home teams. I hate picking all home teams, but I think they're going to win. As I said, though, I root for Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers. I just think he's a solid player and a solid guy. I also love the comeback story of Andrew Luck with the Indianapolis Colts, but I think they're going to lose. I think the Houston Texans have just too much defense for the Colts. And like I said, I think the Seahawks, though. I think the Seahawks could pull off an upset in Dallas. We shall see. But anyway, the 4 games, and hopefully they'll be good games. When I was a kid growing up, my grandparents would love to bring in, when they could get it, because it was a delicacy back then. It was an imported item. The chocolate hazelnut spread Nutella. I know you've seen it, and I know some people have laughed about it and scoffed about it. It's a poor man's peanut butter, or whatever. But it's Italian, and that was what we had. That was, like I said, a treat for us when we could have Nutella. Well, Costco is now selling an almost 7-pound tub of Nutella. What could any person possibly use 7 pounds of Nutella for? I mean, come on. Like I said, it's called a chocolate hazelnut spread, but it's really more sugar and palm oil than anything else. And Nutella is different, actually, depending upon what country you go to. They've actually changed the recipe. It's not the same everywhere you go. If you eat Nutella in Germany, it's going to be different than the Nutella that's in Italy, and obviously different than the Nutella that's in America, which isn't even made in America. It's produced at plants in Brantford, Ontario, and Mexico. And by the way, next month, February 5th, is World Nutella Day. Who knew? Well, now you do. Sad news to report about the death of Southwest Airlines founder Herb Kelleher. Whether you loved or you hated Southwest Airlines, Herb was a true visionary and dedicated to customers and employees. Herb also worked behind the scenes and did many things that will go unrecognized. Our country needs more people like Herb. Also sad news, after 50 years, the Destrehan Discount Pharmacy is closing its doors on Wednesday, January 16th. In a letter posted on Facebook, the pharmacy blames reduced reimbursements from private insurers and Medicare and pharmacy benefit managers. A pharmacy benefit manager is kind of like a middleman who works with pharmacies, drug manufacturers, and insurers. They make nothing, but they make money. and that's all that matters. And because they get their little slice of the pie, and that drives costs higher and higher, and they force pharmacies to charge lower and lower prices and cut into their margins, they get squeezed. Pharmacy benefit managers do provide some benefits and some cost savings to consumers, but for the most part, I think pharmacy benefit managers could go away, and we would be better off without them, and insurance would be better off, and our lives would be better off. Men, if you're concerned about your endowment in certain private places, and women, if you're concerned about your man's endowment, and I know some of you are, a new research study may clear things up at least a little bit. The study has found that a chemical commonly used in fast food wrappers and nonstick fry pans could have a serious and troubling effect on men. Males who had been exposed, no pun intended, to perfluoroalkyl had significantly smaller penises than men who hadn't been exposed. 383 high school boys were examined, including 212 who had been exposed to PFCs. Participants who weren't exposed to PFCs had penises that averaged 1/2 inch longer than those who were exposed. So, no more plastic straws and no more wrapped hamburgers cooked in nonstick fry pans. What's next? And now this. Hi, this is Walt Benetti for my friends over at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. The Original Italian Pie of Kenner features great food, and it is always freshly prepared for you when you order using the freshest ingredients possible. No heat lamps here. Not at all. Not like other restaurants. And you can call the Original Italian Pie at 469-4999. That's 469-4999. And they'll have your order ready for pickup or delivery to your home or your office. You can also order online at orderitalianpie.com. That's orderitalianpie.com. Whenever you are hungry, make sure that you think about my friends over at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard. Call 469-4999. That's 469-4999. And eat some great food. With a name like Coppa Donut, you immediately think, it's just another donut shop. And yeah, Coppa Donut sells great donuts. But, like they say on TV, wait! There's more. Coppa Donut has apple fritters, eclairs, cinnamon twist, cinnamon buns, honey buns, great breakfast, sandwiches, smoothies, breakfast burritos, French toast, waffles. Now, does that sound like just another donut store? I think not. Coppa Donut is open from 5 a.m. to noon Monday through Friday and 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends. Stop by for breakfast on your way to work and grab a couple dozen great donuts for your coworkers. You'll be an office hero. They will be telling stories about the day you brought Coppa Donut donuts to work for months. Trust me. That's Coppa Donut. Great donuts and more. 2321 West Esplanade in the Kenner Market Center. Coppa Donut. Great donuts and a whole lot more.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Walt Benetti.
Thanks again for listening to the Walt Benetti Podcast, and don't forget, if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to email me at waltbradio@gmail.com. That's waltbradio@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get the podcast sent to you when there's an update, so you don't have to keep looking or keep coming back. The first bill passed by the Democratic-controlled House is an ethics reform bill that requires presidential candidates to release 10 years of income tax returns. Really? Your first bill, Nancy Pelosi? Really? Why does a candidate for anything need to release his tax returns? Now, I know my libertarian brothers are in the back chanting, taxation is theft, taxation is theft, taxation is theft. And it is. In Louisiana, when you qualify to run for political office, you fill out a paper. Several of the questions are regarding your filing state and federal income taxes. Why is that a requirement for running for public office? I understand the need to ensure that someone lives in the geographic area that they want to govern, and some positions don't even require that. But filing a paper form so the government can ensure that you pay the holy government tithe on every penny you earn is ridiculous. Show me where in any city or parish charter, state or federal constitution that it mandates filing income taxes as a requirement to run for office. So we have this ridiculous bill from the Democratic-controlled House, and we also have the incredible statements by Michigan Congressman, newly elected Michigan Congressman, by the way, Rashida Tlaib, and her comments about President Trump. Listen to this.
And when your son looks at you and says, Mama, look, you won, bullies don't win. And I said, baby, they don't. Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the mother.
So this is what we get, and this is what we can expect for the next 2 years from a Democratic-controlled House. You know, the government is shut down. Why isn't Congress shut down? Why are we still paying these people? Let's get them out of there. Send them back home. They need to sit down with the men and women of their districts and actually listen to them and listen to what people are saying. Not this ridiculous nonsense, this incredibly ridiculous bill. The first bill you're going to pass, out of all the problems in the country, this is what you're going to focus on first? 10 years of income tax returns? And you're going to have a congresswoman who goes out and spouts her mouth like that, as disrespectful as that, to a president? I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you condone the actions of this Michigan congresswoman, there's no hope for you. There really isn't. We need to put this petty party politics and this nonsense aside and work on what's doing the best things for our country. That's the only way we're going to move forward. Stop this nonsense, and stop it now. Unfortunately, we have even more nonsense closer to home. First, there were meditation rooms. Next up for New Orleans City Hall may be gender-neutral bathrooms. That's right, gender-neutral bathrooms, according to a spokesperson for New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Now, what has yet to be determined is how many restrooms will be gender-neutral and whether they will be single or multiple occupancy. Look, single occupancy restrooms are fine. I get that. You know, I'm okay. But with as much traffic as New Orleans City Hall gets, that's going to be a lot of bathrooms. Look, I know there was a lot of controversy over gender equality and being gender neutral and having respect and the rights of transgender people. I get that. I think everybody deserves some basic human rights. I understand that. But we cannot continue to bend over, no pun intended, for every single minority. We can't do it. Now, my take on public restrooms is pretty simple. You know, and I know the people in North Carolina didn't ask me, nor did New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell. But here it is. You know, if you are a man, you use the men's room. If you're a lady, you use the ladies' room. If you walk up to the doors and you're confused about which one you should go into, well, you hold it until you get home. It's that simple. The topic of bail has also caused a lot of controversy across the country and here locally. Orleans Parish Juvenile Court judges have voted to immediately eliminate the bail system for juvenile offenders. All juvenile offenders will be released on personal recognizance of their parents unless there is a likelihood they will fail to appear or be a danger to themselves or others. And I think this is a good idea. I think it should be extended to adults as well. Bail should be eliminated for all nonviolent offenders unless there are prior violent convictions or that person is a flight risk. Now, if you're convicted or alleged to have committed a violent crime or a crime involving a gun or anything that impacts another person, you need to go to jail. But things like theft, shoplifting, minor drug possession charges, you should not be put in jail and possibly lose your job and your home and your family and have those added pressures because you cannot afford to post a $5,000 bail or whatever the bail amount is. That is a steep financial burden for a lot of people, and people shouldn't have to undergo that as well. At least not for non-violent offenses. That will also help clear out the jail system. And we don't need juvenile offenders and we don't need non-violent offenders mixed up in the general prison population with other violent offenders. Mixing violent and non-violent offenders, whether you're a juvenile or an adult, does no one any good. And we need to stop that. This is one step that I think will help. And now it's time for...
Now, the Walt Bonetti Podcast Dumbass of the Day.
Today's dumbass is the Houston owner of a dachshund, a little dog, found with fireworks duct taped to its body and covered in burns on New Year's Eve. Now, what kind of mutant does this to an animal? Thankfully, the dog was found by a caring couple who took it to a clinic where the dog was shaved and treated for its wounds and is on the mend. Fireworks and animals don't mix, and certainly fireworks duct taped to a dog really don't mix. People don't understand the effect of the noise and the booms on animals. Dogs go crazy and they shiver and they cower. My cats, indoor cats, they shiver and jump around whenever they hear fireworks. Now, I know people like to do it on New Year's Eve, but, come on now. When you think about lighting fireworks, you need to think about not only the impact it's going to have on your neighbors, but also on your neighbors' pets. You need to be considerate. We all need to be more considerate of others, whether it's our custom or whether we enjoy it or not. If you impact someone else, it isn't right. And if you impact someone else and their pets in a negative way, it isn't right. Just for your own amusement. It's not considerate. That's all. Carry on. And now time for our crime report. Five Orlando Corrections Department guards have resigned or retired after an investigation into an inmate who was allowed some special privileges. Robert Pachan, who was in jail for pulling a gun on his wife, is alleged to have had a romantic relationship with a female guard, was allowed to eat Chinese takeout food, and sit in the guard station after hours in exchange for helping guards with their taxes and giving them student loan and mortgage advice. Nice. Hey, pass me some fried rice, will you? A 21-year-old Las Vegas woman is being sought after she used a stolen car to run over the owner of a nail salon who was chasing her because she tried to flee the salon without paying for a $35 manicure. Crystal Whipple is on the lam after hitting and then dragging the body of the salon owner underneath the stolen car. Whipple tried to pay for the manicure with a fraudulent credit card. The vehicle was later found abandoned. Our final story for the podcast and for the week is about a New Hampshire Vietnamese restaurant. They're upset after a mayor told the restaurant owner to take down their brand new sign. The restaurant serves the Vietnamese dish spelled P-H-O, but pronounced pho, and it is in the city of Keene, New Hampshire. Oh, the restaurant's name? Pho Keene Great. That's right. Pho Keene Great. The restaurant manager said she didn't think the name was offensive. If you have any comments or suggestions about the podcast, please send me an email to waltbradio@gmail.com. That is waltbradio@gmail.com, or post on our Facebook page, Walt B Space Radio. You can find us there as well. Please remember to support our sponsors, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard. 469-4999 is their telephone number. You can call ahead to have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver. And as always, you can dine in there. Great food, great atmosphere. And our friends over at Capadona, 2321 West Esplanade in the Kenner Market Center. Their number is 305-4858. Capadona is great donuts and a whole lot more. And if you'd like to sponsor the podcast and reach a new audience and get new customers, please send me a note as well. waltbradio@gmail.com. Please enjoy your weekend and make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you can be sent a link when there's an update. I may update it over the weekend. We shall see what's going on. But enjoy your week. And as always, make sure you go out and you be a blessing. Change someone's life or change your own life. You can do it. You really can. You live in America. So go out and be a blessing. And thanks for listening.
Walt Bonetti.